The action. Been married 14 years, in the relationship for 19. I have 2 kids. My wife and family have been everything to me. I go to my day job, $80,000 a year. Come home and spend time with the kids and the wife. Night walks, cuddling, watching TV, playing games together. Bonding has always been great for both people. I can last a long time and she is always pleased, etc. She also seemed very, very loyal, which is one of the things I always admired in her. So last year my dad passed. We moved down to take over my mom's house and help her out. I suggest that my wife find a job so she can socialize, and I told her she should go back to college. She is so close to her degree. Her best friend gets her a job who works there 3 times a week. I noticed over the next year that my wife is acting a little busy. She is spending lots of time on the PC. She is dressing up for work but looking extra good. She never wears nail polish, and now she is wearing bubblegum pink, etc. I notice her buying these very sexy tops for work that show off her body. About a month before the blow up, she starts acting crazy and wants to bond every night. Normally it was like once a week. Then she starts saying if we ever separate, she needs time so that she doesn't have to move back in with her mother to get some money for an apartment. She says this 3 times in 2 weeks. So, I finally confront her. It comes out she has feelings for her boss, that she wanted to do a physical act to him that would lead to bonding, and that if she had slept with him, she would have left me for him. I was like, what the hell? I can sleep with you for hours and you never even had slept with the guy. I come to find out she was looping that Come and Get It song over and over and thinking about her boss. The guy was pulling the classic I have traveled the world stuff. I know all about exotic foods, trying to build himself up, but she was sucked right into it. I found an email where she wrote her friend saying the physical was great with me, but the emotional day-to-day just was not there. This is utter bull crap. During the initial fight she said that she was planning on sleeping with him so that he would get feelings for her. How dumb can you be? She was just a hot piece of ass to this guy. I gave her 20 years of great experiences and trust and turned down plenty of hot women and never cheated on her. She goes out into the workforce after 8 years of being a house mom, her choice, and she falls in love with her boss, who is married with 2 kids and is an utter tool. He is not even a good-looking guy. None of it makes sense. She can't even explain it to me. After months of lies and stories, this happened about 3 months ago. She finally admitted she had been into him almost from the beginning, and in the last month before the blow-up wanted out of our marriage. Her plan was to sleep with the guy, and somehow he was going to leave his wife and kids and go with her, and they would travel the world. No crap, that's what she said. Her disgusting words were just devastating. Her obsession in my mind made me sick. This guy is a nobody, an average Joe, and she fell all in love with him and planned to dump me. Now of course she tells me she loves me. It was a mistake. She was not thinking right. She doesn't know why she said those hurtful things. But to me the damage was done. Who can be married thinking they may be number 2 in someone's heart? Security over passion. It has just wrecked everything. I look at her Facebook page and just want to punch the screen. I love my kids. I don't want to devastate them. Her right now, not so much. She is telling me it's her fault and she wants to treat me the way I should have always been treated. I am going through days of utter rage. Then it goes away, then utter rage again. The messed up part as well is that they never had romantic talk, never had dirty talk, nothing according to her. It was in her head, and she leaned against him once while doing some computer training. She used to ask him what to eat for lunch, and he would talk to her about how unhappy he was at home, etc. He bought nothing for his wife for Valentine's Day. I bought mine 2 dozen roses, a card, and ordered out. He asks my wife out to lunch and also if she would come along and pick something out for his wife like chocolate. She refused. Even though she wanted to be alone with him, she was feeling guilty, so would turn him down. I blew everything up days before it was going to go physical. Now I am on the net looking up emotional affairs like this. I am a wreck of a human being inside. All I wanted was to make a beautiful life for her and me, to be a family guy, and she invited filth into our reality. I don't think it went physical. Her plan was to start to do physical crap on lunch break, and as she said to me, he would want full good time and then she would have to do it for him. Like, what the hell? Then she felt the bonding would make him have love feelings for her and he would leave his wife for her. I know people's thinking. This is not the person I have known for the last almost 20 years. After the blow-up, I contacted the guy via Facebook and told him, you're not going to ask her out to lunch or anything, and it best be professional. I did that to document stuff. I knew what he was going to do. So, I showed my wife male grooming sites, how they groom women at the office, and she became enraged and disgusted when she figured out what he was doing. He was mirroring all her likes and wants. Then I told her he would come after her job once he didn't get what he wanted. 2 days later he started that process once she ignored him. She brought SH charges against him and was moved to a new position. She is presently looking for another job. She sees the guy totally ignored her after my email to him. She sees he's as none man. Now she is begging to stay with me, but I am pretty disgusted. She has not written the wife yet because she didn't want drama at work. Once she is out of there, that will take place. If it was physical, she would be gone and I would be at the dude's door already. I am pretty positive it didn't, especially since her plan she informed me of. Time not missing, etc. Honestly, it's a disgrace. I don't want anyone to know. My mind is 50 shades of messed up. Yes, I think I was too nice to her. Plus, I've been seeing her since she was 18, so she doesn't understand what scum some guys can be. All she has known is me being cool to her. I hope time does something because I don't even feel married anymore. She is crying, and you're the only one and I love you the best, but it's coming from the same person that was planning to do what she was planning to do. Oh, I didn't add this part. She bought the dude a birthday present 6 months before his b-day. Plus, he sent her a cookie recipe and she baked him cookies. I found this all out going through 15 messages on her phone that didn't have her email security on it. No love messages, nothing romantic found, nothing like that. It was all fantasy and office flirting and progressing until I figured crap out and stopped it. I don't want to tell the wife and put my wife at some kind of physical risk after work from her ex-boss. I will wait until she is out of there. I didn't add the crap he did at work for the SH. First off, he was her superior. Secondly, he asked her to lunch like 8 times. He came up behind her in her chair like a behind hug and whispered in her ear some work crap. He pretended to demonstrate how some nurse gave him a cardiac exam and came up like 2 inches from her body without touching her but was leaning over her in a chair all before this all started. He showed her how to get free magazines on the web but had like dirty magazines on there as well so she could see them on the screen. He did some other crap like that way crossed the line. Then when he saw she was not going to do anything after I contacted him, he gave her evil looks and started sending out emails criticizing her with higher-ups CC. So, he was planning to get her fired. There was no legal action, it was an internal thing with human resources. I know she was at fault as well. Trust me, there will be no legal action, she has a lot of blame on her. The boss did not know her plans, that's something she told me when this all went down. He was hitting on her, she fell for it and it progressed simple as that. I broke it up while she was still in fantasy land. Now I am dealing with the aftermath, which is the main issue. I just feel rage and numb. No happiness at all. I feel like my marriage is a vase that was broken and glued together. It's just not the same. My entire view of her has changed. I want this guy's wife to know for sure. He is a piece of garbage. She isn't any pedestal anymore, trust me. Much of what she did makes no damn sense. She did try to lie in the beginning, telling me she was just considering what would happen if anything physical would happen. That I would find out and throw her out and she would have to go with the other guy. My response was, you're stupid, bye. First of all, the dude is married with kids, he would only use you for your body and dump you. Secondly, if I said get out, how does that force you to be with anyone? It took a couple months and he latest revelation a few days ago because nothing made sense to get the story out of her about wanting to leave with him. I said to her, you had no romantic talk, no kissing, no real touching other than brushing against each other now and then, just flirting, and you took that to the next level in your mind and wanted to be with this guy. I said to her, you're mentally sick, what the hell is wrong with you? I know you 20 years and you would blow that up for thoughts. That's part of what pisses me off. Some people have affairs for years with bonding and romance and don't leave who they are with. It was all irrational BS. Then in the last month before it blew up is when she started the bonding with me every day, the dressing sexy, and I put 2 and 2 together. If I had not blown it up, she probably would have slept with the dude that week and continued the journey. The 15 emails were all her emails. I only found one from him and it was talking about a cookie recipe in the title. My dumb wife actually baked cookies and brought them into work. We had some at home. I didn't realize her real motivation was to do it for him until I found the email. That's when I found the email where she was talking to an internet friend saying how I am all there physically but emotionally I don't talk deep to her, I don't show day-to-day concern, etc., which is all BS. She was trying to convince herself I was some trash so she could peruse this guy in her way. It didn't go physical cause he is not an alpha male, he is a goofball from what I hear from her friend. That was one thing she liked about him, his goofy personality. The dude is bald with a gut and like 7 years older than her. It makes no sense. I am trying to make sense of it. That's one reason I am here. Now, like someone said, all of a sudden she realizes I've been a great husband all along and she is crying and I will show you how much I love you, etc., but I feel like a second choice to an utter loser. The dude wears adult pajamas to bed. What kind of a man does that? Meanwhile, I am a second-degree black belt. I have a good job doing tech work. She blew up everything for what imaginary body? For a fantasy land of travel. He so got her turned on with what? Talking about how much he hated his life and his wife. He used to bring her in the office according to her and tell her his goofy travel stories and complain about his mother-in-law and wife, etc. So, what she wanted to rescue him from his bad life. None of it makes sense. I have had girls offer me a good time in my office at work and turn them down cause I am married and I did care about my wife. I've been tempted a lot and never did anything, and she gets hit on by a loser and over the course of a year falls for the guy and makes this entire fantasy in her head. I have no doubt it was going physical that week if I didn't blow it up. I am an alpha male, so that makes sense. This dude was all controlled by her hot crap while I am not. She did write in her email to her friend that she enjoyed it when other men would show her attention. That makes sense. Strange man attention, sending a thrill up her leg, so to speak. She probably liked that he was her pet. Add that to his so-called world travel and exotic food stories. That's no kidding. How long does it take for these feelings to go away or dim down? She may not have slept with the guy, but to me it seems even worse, this fantasy obsession and all the stuff she said to me. Why would you say that to any man, let alone the guy who you have been with for almost 20 years over a no body? I feel decimated. My entire vision of my world flipped, and she did it all after my dad had just passed and I am taking care of my mom who had stage 4 colon cancer. Who said it? They are right, it's like being in a nightmare and you can't wake up. You just want it to not be there. Has anyone stayed with the wife after something like this and felt good about being with her? I found this guy was like memorizing what she liked on her food or how she liked it from multiple places. He would run and get soda or orange juice from the vending machine, compliment her, etc. Meanwhile, his wife gets nothing for Valentine's Day. She is working and he is trying to get into the pants of the girl at work. He was just not aggressive enough, probably wanted her to make the first move. I think she bought into all that and thought he cared, etc. In any case, she is wrong 100%. No, actually, I was there for my wife despite the life crap going on. We were going for night walks with the kids, watching TV together, but with work and all I can't be there running to the vending machine when she needs a soda, if you know what I mean. I was cooking dinner because she got out later, I was shopping for the food, and doing a lot of the cleaning. So, she has no leg to stand on to even imply I was a cause for anything. If I was going out every night drinking, or at some club, or not giving her the bonding, then maybe she had a case, but it wasn't like that. She should have been there for me after my dad passed, but instead, she was flirting with the boss and having some kind of office dating relationship. My wife wrote that email to her friend about liking men's attention and me not being there emotionally 7 days after my dad's first death anniversary. You guys are right in the fog of there, they just don't give a damn. Plan 9, yes, selfish indeed. I am disgusted by her actions and now she wants a second chance. I honestly have no clue what to do right now, I am just going through the motions. I don't think it went physical, but that's not even the point. It's the passion, obsession that it seems she had for an utter loser. This fantasy of wanting a life with a guy she didn't even know really other than talks in an office. Telling me she was planning on making it go pia in order to hook the guy emotionally, which is an ignorant plan anyway, as she would have just been used. You don't say to your husband, if I would have slept with the guy I would have had to choose between bodies and I would have chose his. What kind of crap is that? I called her a dumb F, then I find out she was all in love with this guy. Now of course she hates him. She had a sudden realization I am the most important person in her world to her. But how do you get the crap out of your mind? If she had a one-night stand, I would not feel as crappy as I do now. All her emotions seemed to be poured into this guy, at least in her head. She made a choice and it wasn't me. Then when she realized he was just gaming her, when she realized she was not even the guy's friend and he blew her off, then all of a sudden, I am the love of her life. Anger is all I feel. Numbness, there is no happy, and it seems to actually have gotten worse. It's been 3 or 4 months and I am getting more aggravated. My head is not in the sand and I don't see her as some saint. I bet she trashed me in their little conversations like her did his wife. I bet there was a lot more brushing against each other and all that kind of business going on. I am just trying to figure out how to love her again, and even if I want to. I have 2 kids and 20 years invested in this relationship, which seemed fine until this crap. Comments. 1. You are in denial about the extent of the affair. 2. You are deciding if it is worth R. There has been great advice given to you. I see the issue more as you are needing some time to absorb the sum of the betrayal. Honest to goodness, the feelings will change as you spend more time realizing the horrible extent of it. If you can muster the courage, you will turn the hurt into action. Start making a game plan for the divorce. Stash some money, find a way to live, and seek legal advice. I would not say a further word to her about it. You sound like you really don't want more evidence, so why bother? You already know that she is a bad wife. She has given plenty for you to choose a D. She will reveal more as you dig. OP responds. Everyone seems to be saying that she got a taste of the feelings and the high of strange if only in her mind, and now it's just a matter of time until it happens and goes all the way. I never in a million years would think this girl could do anything like this. One of the reasons I married her was her loyalty. She was not a party girl, or a drinker, or any of that. Now in her mid-30s she just wigs out. I still care about her, but I feel like I am living with a ticking time bomb. She is saying all the right things and doing all the right things, but I get a feeling it is a phase, a defense mechanism, cause where would she go? She has no place to go other than her old bedroom at mom's. So why blow things up? Just pretend until Mr. Right comes along. I guess I could pretend as well until the final destruction in a few years. 1 year later, my wife had an emotional affair, not physical, supposedly with her married bald fat boss, and D-Day was a little over a year ago. Trying to I have known her 20 years since she was 17, married 15 years with 2 kids. I am having major issues and time is not doing much. I walk around like a zombie pretending, holding hands. She sits next to me cuddling, watching TV, but all romantic love has just gone out of me. I'm just depressed all the time. Went to see and I still feel the same. I will think I am over everything and everything is fine, and then all of a sudden bang, I am in mental hell OCD over everything and looking for clues to what really is real and what she is lying about. What I see as obsessive nature of the I really can't deal with it, and over what a loser scumbag, that wanted ass that didn't even do anything romantic for her or really work it. All he did was talk about his problems with her. He sent her a recipe and she baked the guy cookies 9 days before Christmas. She would talk to him at work any chance she could and stayed 30 minutes late each night to talk. She bought special low-cut shirts and bras at the end to help seduce him. 15 years with me and she walked around in oversized sweatpants, large white t-shirts and a ponytail. This guy, her hair was all done, nails painted hot pink or red lipstick. On D-Day she said if she had slept with him, she would have went with him. A month before D-Day she was sleeping on the couch each night. I find out just before D-Day it was going to go physical and she was in his office doing oral on a blow pop as a little show for him and pulling her tops down to show more cleavage. This revelation came out last week. She bought the guy a B-Day present 6 months before his B-Day just because he mentioned he liked something. She bought and listened to a song Come and Get It and thought of him. I blew this thing all up. Knocked her out of the fog when I emailed the dude and he backed down in 2 seconds. She tells him as a jerk at this point and realized he didn't real care about her. Notified his wife via letter to her at work. The wife left work 5 months later, but I can't take the obsessive nature of what she was feeling. It's like for this guy she wanted to act like a hot woman and all these years with me she was blah. She was going to throw away her marriage, our 20-year relationship, blow up a family with 2 small kids 8 and 9 years old over what? Plus, in her fantasy land she was going to use protection or birth control. She didn't care if she got pregnant. Now I am living with this trash and she is, although I was so wrong. Oh, I love you so much, you're my life. When she calls me sweetie or love, it feels like a drill entering my head. I just think damn liar and I'm waiting for the next freak obsession. I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old plus taking care of my mother who is recovering from stage 4 colon cancer. I just don't want to blow up their world. I am holding everything in. No one knows about this except my best friend and her former best friend. My kids are all about family dinners together, family walks, etc. I used to do nightly walks holding hands and the kids would come, or just hiking down trails, etc. Now I do it in robot mode. I don't want to hurt my kids, they are too young and I don't want to blow up their reality. Last year it was just feelings until I searched emails and found out all sorts of crap. Now it was she was in love but it wasn't real feelings. Really, then why were you sleeping on the couch for a month and telling me if we ever separate can she stay in the house until she finds something else? I am like, you don't blow up a 20-year relationship for fake feelings. The entire thing sounds sick. If I was one of you guys reading this, I would be like, what the hell? I told her right off, you don't dress hot for me or at least maintain the makeup and all that crap. I am gone. If I left, she would be screwed. She has no job, no place to go other than her mother's, and she would hate that. She didn't blow the guy as far as I know. She put on blow pop shows, which is utterly disgusting to think about. It's the over-the-top crap that just messes me up. Like that song Heart Attack where the chick dresses like a girl for him, acts like a woman for him. The worst part is this guy is a nothing. He wasn't some young stud. He is bald, fat, mid-40s, married and hated his life. I have already gotten multiple parking lot confessions, each one adding more to the story. But she is at the point where she doesn't want to talk about anything and just starts crying if I mention anything. I'm disgusted enough, I really don't need to know more. I got her to reveal more because I went to my counselor and she said that until my questions are answered I would OCD about this and I can't live like that. I told the wife and I pointed out holes in her story. Last year after D-Day and I sent her boss an email to stay away, she turned cold toward him and all of a sudden, he was doing little write-ups of bad job performance. I told her that's because he didn't get what he wanted. She made some comment that he must have thought bonding was a maintenance or to that extent. I said, why would he think that if you're just flirting and crap, and I went off. Then she confessed that she did the blow pop show 3 times in his office. One time leaning against him like side to side on her knees as he showed her crap on the computer. They were doing this in broad daylight in an office with other people just down the hall. She also confessed she would pull her new sexy low-cut blouses down lower when she would go in his office. It's sick just writing this. The girl I gave 20 years to, worked my back off so she could stay home with the kids, wrote love letters to, sent flowers to. I used to just go get her favorite candy and bring it home or surprise her with wildflowers I would pick for her, and this was last year. My dad had just passed, my mom was getting done with colon cancer surgery, and my wife was out having a fun old time at work every day. It's so sad. Now I am posting online just to get relief. If I was some drunk abusive guy or out banging chicks on the side, then I get what I deserve. But this was like a baseball bat out of the blue to the back of the head. You feel like a life failure and a loser is the best way to describe it, and then you try and look ahead and what's there? Divorce and being some late 40s hitting single bars in my sweater. Those are the guys we used to look at when we were in our 20s and feel sorry for. I know one thing, I will never marry again, ever. I don't even want another relationship. I made sure her physical and emotional needs were met, and when she met this utter loser it didn't matter. All out the window. That's another thing. If it was some young stud, or some rich handsome guy or something, it would make more sense, but your damn boss, who just happens to be old college roommates of one of the people I work with. So, it's not just over a piece of ass. I get girls at work hitting on me and I haven't done anything and I still don't. Ass is not the issue. It's about being an idiot, a life loser, and looking to a future of what? Yes, I had her write up a letter and send it to the guy's wife at her work with a nice photo of my wife, detailing all the crap he said about her and her mother. Screw that piece of trash. But she left a lot out because she didn't tell me a lot as it was. Her friend had an affair and was telling experiences and crap I found out, so I am sure that helped contribute. She ended that friendship last December. I don't think she slept with him. I think she tried to seduce the guy and he was like one of these guys that afraid or nervous or what have you. I mean, the dude sleeps in feet pajamas or however you spell that. If some girl walked into my office doing oral on a blow pop 3 times and I was a scumbag, I would have shut the door and pulled it out. He just apparently sat there and watched all frozen. I definitely think it was days from going physical when I blew it up. When I ask, she just lies to my face. She doesn't know why she did it other than it was her best friend's bad influence and none of it was real feelings. Doesn't make sense to me. Why would she treat this guy so special? What did he offer in the middle of a work office with no good time and yet you had this sick fantasy obsession? I ask her and she says he had nothing. It was all in her head and I'm not second best, cry, rinse, repeat. That's my point, she isn't even honest with herself. Then she says she would have never slept with him. I say, so you sleep on the couch for a month? Tell me at the time our marriage was over. Tell me if you had slept with him you would have chosen him. As of last week now I find out you're blowing lollipops in his office. Well, you wouldn't have slept with him. Utter nonsense and BS. If the guy had shown her some romance and went for it, she would have banged him and left me. That's how I feel. She denies it. She is telling me close to when she felt it was going to go physical that she entered his office with a lot of sick details. Twice in front of the desk and then once leaning against his side while they pretended to work on a laptop like he was showing her a program. Sick crap. During work hours, middle of the day. She was coming home thinking about him in the last month before D-Day. That and her dramatic dress and makeup changes was a total tip-off. Bubblegum lipstick and bubblegum nail polish. While I got oversized greasy sweatpants and greasy hair and a ponytail every day. I'm getting pissed writing this. It's just sick. How can you act that way? And this is a dude just talking to you in the office about how he hates life and is supposedly not giving you romantic talk or anything. It disgusts me that this story is about my wife who I have known for 20 years. The obsessive sickness is what's getting me. Some guy sends you a recipe so you bake him cookies. You're buying work clothes for him, makeup, sleeping on the couch, and you haven't kissed or done anything. It's psychotic. Without knowing why or how, why couldn't this happen again? I hate life. I don't think they had slept together. Did they kiss and hug and make out? She denies it, but I have my doubts. I can't see this level of crazy with nothing going on, just swiping each other as they walk past each other or leaning into each other. But who knows, the entire thing makes no sense to me, man. Comments. I hate to say this, but you have allowed this to go on too long. You are allowing her to see it is okay to trickle truth, refuse to answer questions, etc. because there are no repercussions. As such, she knows she never has to answer. It is the good old stop or I will yell stop again adage. The poly would solve this. So, would actually holding her accountable for not answering your questions. Give her one last opportunity to answer your questions. If she refuses, schedule the poly and don't tell her. Then when you arrive at the poly appointment, and she asks why you are there, then explain it to her. She could refuse. She could agree. She could answer your questions on the spot. Any of those will tell you exactly what you need to know to move forward. But stop allowing her to avoid the information you need by giving her repercussions for refusal. You are literally losing it inside because you have turned your power over to her. You can take that power back, but you have to be willing to lose the marriage to get this done. OP responds. First of all, the guy was going for her. He gave her a CD of love songs first week on the job. He kept getting her into his office for work and then would discuss how unhappy he was with his marriage and talk about traveling the world, etc. The guy saw things she liked on Facebook and then made his conversations based on that. He was trying to build a connection. He brought her in the office and was showing her things on his PC, and one of them was about magazines that just happened to be dirty magazines. The dude would brush up on her, or come behind her and whisper in her ear. He would memorize what she liked for lunch and run out and get it for her. The guy was in a position of power and she started as an outside consultant. He convinced management that he needed an assistant and they created a job for her. He had a recliner installed in his office after she was there for a while and saw some interest given back. Most of her actions were in her head. It wasn't until a month before this blew up that she was doing the dirtier flirting. He invited her to Valentine's Day lunch, which she refused even though she wanted to go, I am sure. Then when this all blew up and she wanted everything to be just professional, he kept pursuing her. At that time, she was doing nothing but work. He could not accept that and started writing her up and acting abusive in the office. At that time, she brought charges against him through human resources and asked to be moved. She didn't sue anybody. She just wanted her job protected while she looked for a new one. Last weekend I sent her site that help file for divorce, told her I wanted to know everything or it's done. Told her this is the only chance to save everything. Long story short, I let her write out things. She didn't include what I knew already. She admitted that she found the guy interesting in the beginning and wanted to get to know him more. She said he reminded her of me. Of course, cough. She said basically they would have these long life conversations. She fell in love with the guy. Mentally made a plan how she and him could be together. They would move into an apartment, all this crap. Had fantasies about bonding, apartment living, all this crap. The guy made it clear he was interested in her, wanted to take her out, etc. Reality, he wanted office as they never did anything physical or had romantic talk. She was trying to progress things at the end, and I guess he was thinking of how to not get caught. She was thinking her golden vagina would make him leave his wife, and then she would leave me. When I blew it up, she says she realized it was all a fantasy. And she really wanted me. So, she acted normal business like at work. He wanted more and then started attacking her work, etc. Now of course she wants me, and it was always me, and she was lost in fantasy world for a year. So, I guess I am looking at a future of living with her and her trying for how long to look good for me and act crappy. I am number one. Second choice, divorce, give my kids a broken home. Neither really works for me. Most of this was her obsession, but they were in the flirting stage. This guy was probably thinking if something happens, he could lose his job. Then there is his own wife. He wasn't in love, he just wanted some hot office body. The last month or weeks before it was about to go physical is when she started showing physical interest in her actions with the flirting. I blew it up literally days before it was going to go physical. But does that matter? She dressed, put on makeup for him, went shopping to multiple stores for clothes to look sexy, etc. She was experimenting, going out and eating all different kinds of foods to try and look sophisticated cause he liked gourmet foods, etc. She was doing all these special things for the guy that gave her nothing. But he did provide a fantasy escape, sitting and chatting, etc. The dude was smart, he mirrored back what he knew she liked. He was that friendly ear she could vent to, etc. I am trying to put it behind me, looking at it like she went psycho. 20-year relationship compared to a 1-year fantasy, emotional, semi-physical thing. But it's the intensity of her feelings that sickens me, and knowing she acted like woman, sexy, makeup, dress, for this guy, and he is a nothing. Internally I don't think I can get past it. I fake it, but internally it's like a bomb went off. We were best friends. I had complete faith in this person, didn't even think of this. Now I have to think if he had been more aggressive and they had done stuff together, she would be gone. I mean, it would not have worked out, but that would have been that. She didn't think of me. While my dad is fresh in the ground, she is trying to learn about this guy and falling in love. While I am struggling to help my mom, who had stage 4 cancer surgery, she is out in fantasy land. When I needed my best friend the most, she was missing an area. Then I have pictures of her looking at me all nasty that year. I can go back and see it in her eyes. You can see the separation from what we had. A year before she was talking about how I was the best thing that ever happened to her, and 1 year later she was making me out to be something I wasn't, to justify her own actions in her head. It's sickening, and if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. If I divorce her, now she goes out and lives it up with some other scumbag and exposes my kids to whoever she picks with her great judgment. My kids now have to deal with being shuttled back and forth and all the BS, alimony payments, child support, etc. I will be working to support her and her new eventual boyfriend. So, in years past we walked down forest lanes hand in hand, laughed together, hiked together, went on adventures together, built a family together. Christmas Eve was sitting together in the dim light watching It's a Wonderful Life, kids sleeping upstairs, presents under the tree, our dog curled up on our lap. It was a feeling of perfection to me. Family first. Building my kids' dollhouse in the basement, and my wife giving me a cup of hot chocolate and watching on the stairs. A watch with the inscription, "My heart is yours forever." All gone. A faded memory as I took the watch and dumped it on the floor the other day. She colored the past, she colored my present, and she colored my future. I may stay in this thing, but my soul is gone. I don't believe in magic anymore. I put away my romantic thoughts of life served up by my best friend and her actions over the death of my dad. This Christmas Eve I will get no phone call from Dad, and if I sit and watch It's a Wonderful Life, it will make me think of the life she wanted with this other guy. I look at my kids' smiling faces and her trying to and inside I know it's a lie. I used to buy gifts for her out of love, and now I buy them because that's what you do. I can't hand her a card because I don't feel what it says anymore. I thought we were special, and now I realize I am just another hairless ape like everyone else. My comment, another one who stay for the kids. All OP doing here is just delaying the final ending to their marriage. Yes, having both sides separated sucks, but you know what is worst? Raising your young ones in a dysfunctional family, that is the worst. You guys agree? Comment down and we will have a new lesson tomorrow morning.